Hello everybody and welcome back to Matty Reacts, a channel where we take a look at things we've never watched or listened to before. And we've got an interesting one today because, again, I don't think it's something, let me just double check, but I don't think it's anything we've covered on the channel before. No, we've not covered it on the channel before. So we're taking a look at a 30 Seconds to Mars song today called God's Eye. Now, from the first line of the YouTube description, it looks like it is the new single which is featured on the upcoming 20-year anniversary edition of A Beautiful Lie, which is out in March. So I'm not sure whether this is a brand new song or it's a song from the sessions of the Beautiful Lie recording. I guess we'll be able to tell from the song. But 30 Seconds to Mars have always been a really interesting band to me. I like a lot of what they do. Closer to the Edge, probably one of my favourite songs that they've done. Obviously, the emo in me loves stuff like The Kill. And they've kind of always just had those songs that people tend to know about. When I was at college, they were like the upcoming thing, and like I'd never really heard of Jared Leto because I've never seen films, so I've not seen him in films before. But I remember a lot of the sort of more alternative of my friend group. They were all looking forward to a gig that was coming up, and I didn't really look into it, and kind of wish I had, because I probably would have gone to that gig, because that was back in the days when gigs didn't cost you half your mortgage. However, in the subsequent years, I did get to really enjoy the singles that they put out. I've never listened to an album. I've listened to a couple of album tracks because they had titles that I found interesting. But yeah, I've never really listened to their albums, but I've really enjoyed what they've put out in terms of singles. So it'll be interesting to see what this is like. They kind of have this energy of, I would say they don't really do the same thing as The Kill these days. They tend to be a bit more electronic rock in their style, but also like they kind of have this aura about them these days. Maybe they always had it, I don't know, but I don't know whether it's because Jared was already famous, but like I don't know, it's a bit of a weird aura, it's a bit of a weird energy. So like as a band, I'm not sure on them, but their singles are always sort of top notch. So we're just going to jump into it really and see what God's Eye's got for us, and if we can figure out whether or not it's a recent song or an old song that they've decided to, sort of an old B-side they've decided to release. Let's have a look. Interestingly, only a 2-minute song though. We're just over 2 minutes.
I will serve you and protect you from the lies you love to tell.
Okay.
I break you, heaven take you. I can save you from yourself. Sold you
Okay. 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 Interesting. I'm not sure this fits neatly into either of the two styles that I'm aware that they do, to be honest. It kind of sounds more like an early noughties straight rock song. The kind of like a commercial rock, I guess I'd call it. The sort of rock songs you'd hear on commercials in the sort of late 90s, early 2000s. Interesting though, I quite like it. I'm trying to think of like who I could compare it to, but I'll have a think while it's playing. Oh, nice drum pattern. Love the whispery bits. It really reminds me of a band from that sort of time period, actually. But you can hear like some brass and some electronic elements in the background. Really good actually. I just want to jump back to the start of the chorus. And let's see if it jogs the memory. No, it's not clicking. This is a bit I want to listen to though. No, I don't know. And I hate it that I don't know. But I can hear influences, I can hear songs and bands from the like late 90s, early 2000s that it reminds me of. I think it doesn't remind me of it specifically, but I think you could make a good mashup between this and Alanis Morissette, because I can kind of hear the like where you could fit in that it's not fair to remind me. That one. I think you could do a mashup between those two songs and it would work. Maybe. I'm not a professional. I don't know if they're in the same key or anything like that. It just I could hear it in my brain. That's how my brain works. It's a weird brain. What do I think of the song? I think it's a good song. Yeah, I quite like the song. It's I was worried because it was called God's Eye, and I know that as a band, I think Jared is quite religious, and I didn't want a song that felt like it was really preachy. But you know, I didn't really hear. I mean, I suppose I could have been like not really listening to the lyrics to get that, but it didn't sound like that kind of song to me. I thought it was a really good song. I thought it definitely had that sort of sound from the late 90s, early 2000s commercial rock, which was a really pleasant surprise for me actually, and I quite enjoyed that. I don't know if anybody knows, by the way, that's watching this, leave me a comment and let me know if it is a song from sort of the early 2000s when they were recording A Beautiful Lie, or whether it is something they've recorded recently just for this project. Because I really would like to know that actually. I might even just Google it after this, but if you know, let me know. But yeah, thank you for dropping by, and I'll see you again for another reaction video very soon.